I think you just joined the channel, Henrik, but you need to type slash praise.
okay. Okay, well then it's because I'm just stupid. Sorry, I'll try and do that.
All right.
No, it's a little many few steps. It's slash praise what that you have to put
praise activate.
Okay.
Yes,
but when you write slash praise, it appears as a choice. You can just write slash praise and then click on it.
Okay. Yeah, I just typed in the command and then tagged you in it into the test channel.
I managed to sign the message and I'm in. I just don't see any of my praise. I don't know if you can see me there, Chris.
Sorry. I think maybe you need also to share your screen. I think that's the fastest way of just seeing where you're at in the process.
Sure. Here we go.
So have you? What happens if you press my praise? That means you're not activated yet. And have you gone into the Discord chat channel there?
Yeah.
That is not the channel. It's the TEC test channel.
Yeah.
You there, and have you added the command there? Praise activate.
Yeah. Should I just do it again?
Yeah, I'd like to see how it looks. And enter.
Nice. I'm gonna follow that link.
Sorry, the link seems broken. So you see, it's there has been become a line break in your link. Do you see that? That's only the first half of the link is.
Yeah. Can I fix it manually when I?
So if you copy paste that and make it into a full link, it should work better. That is weird. I've never seen that before. And remove the parentheses at the end and at the beginning.
The what?
The parenthesis before the HTTP in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
So then
space there.
And then enter.
Okay. Nice.
And you need connect to sign activation message. That was an interesting bug. Let's hope this works. Sign.
Can you try Haxelax again?
Yeah.
Activated.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I found you now, Manu. So you're in.
Yep.
But Haxelax, I don't know. Here, two more. Blanks and Parakia.
There we go. Blanks.
Good.
So Haxelax, how did it go for you? What happened?
Well, I have activated, and it said you are activated, but it doesn't really. My Discord account has been activated, and but I don't see the same.
He's showing in the board.
That's right, though. You're in. I can see you here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not supposed to be able to see the same.
No, this is the admin view.
Okay. All right. Then that makes sense for me. Thank you.
Yeah. And one thing, and this goes for all of you. Currently, when we add you as quantifiers, so you get an additional role in the system, and this is not reflected immediately. So you will have to log out and log in again to actually get the quantifier permissions. So this is something we hope to be able to fix in the future, but for now it's not automatically updated because that is a bit tricky, just making that happen. And you log out. You log out in the left hand, the the lower left-hand corner, you press your address and choose logout, and then you log in again, and that's it. And you may have also to reload the page. Sorry, back to you, Mitch.
Yeah, sure. So is anyone still stuck, or are we all in now?
I think I'm in, but I like to make sure of it. Okay.
Jerry DeGray, I still have you server muted because there's crazy feedback coming from you. Okay. Well, so everyone, if you're in this view right now, or if you're in the dashboard and you are logged in, just take a chance to log back out, and you should be back at this screen here. And then that'll allow us to update the system with your quantifier role. And Christopher, I think we need to open the period's open, and then we need to set it to quantify. So
yeah, then that's it. When we assign the quantifiers, we cannot add any
right. Okay.
for this period.
Right.
But you can do the honors of pressing the button. It's that period. So let's see if the algorithm, what it says, the quantifier pool has 27 members and we need 26, it says. So we are good to go. If you press that button, assign, then
But that means
it's
someone's
on.
going to be left out.
Yeah. So we might also wait for a little bit and talk about other stuff in the meantime, I guess.
Quantifier pools, 20 members needed for quantification. Can we just modify it so that there's more praise to quantify?
Mm-hmm. If we really want to fill the full, so that everyone becomes a quantifier, it's not 100%. Actually, it's different each time you press that button because it has to do with the order of how the algorithm, in which order it processes the receivers, and that is randomized each time. So it could be 27. I'd say it is good to have like 1 or 2 additional quantifiers. No, you have to go back, and so this is the same thing every time. But if you move to another page and then back again, or load the page, it will be might be different. It might be the same.
Oh yeah.
26. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's click assign.
And this might take a few seconds. Oh.
Should we try a quick refresh? Let's see.
And this is sort of the only thing in the whole system that is a bit. I wouldn't say. Wait a second before you press that again, and let me see if I can see something in the server logs, if the request was turned down.
Did everyone do their homework?
It doesn't say anything.
And thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. This is the first test quant we're having after so long, and there's so much work being put into this process. So it's really amazing that you're all here.
Do you see anything in the logs, Christopher?
Yeah, I do. Now the quantifiers seem to have been assigned.
Nice.
So reload the page. There's some kind of glitch with this.
Oh yeah, nice.
So the someone got assigned one page. The assignment algorithm is not perfect. Yeah, I guess we could use some help from a skilled token engineer. How do you do a fair distribution of this?
Okay. Well,
But
it looks like
we're
everyone's been assigned a quantifier. So I'll just switch over my view into quantifier. There we go. And we'll log in. And so if we go on the side there, or here we go, it's right on the home screen. If everyone is in, you should be able to see you're a quantifier for this period. And then your items left to quantify. And then we have the pseudonyms turned on. So these are actually pseudonyms for people that have received praise. So these are all just randomly generated. Don't take it personally. Cool Squid, Calm Thinker. And so just to get started, you can start at the top.
I just noted a bug. We don't have pseudonyms for the. That is another issue. It's the URL that pushes everything to the right, and also the avatars. We don't have avatar pseudonyms, so you see the right pseudonym, the right.
So you
the
see
right images. So now you know
image.
that Tam is the nervous Neptune, for instance, and me, I'm the black lion.
Calm Wolf. Oh, that's a good one. Anyway, so from here, you should be able to see all of your praise that you've been assigned to quantify.
Can you post this link in the chat? Because it doesn't work from the link of the login.
The link to this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to log in first to get here.
No, but the login
login doesn't link work?
doesn't bring me there.
Oh, interesting.
You need to log out and log in again to see this. So this is when Mitch loads this first page. This is how it should look, and you should see at the top of your screen on the first page. Mitch, if you go back to that first page, you should see on the top of your screen. This is not the first page. This is it. No.
Oh, now it worked. I had to log out and log in.
Yeah, so that's the deal for all of you. And you need to log out and log in and also refresh the page.
And if it's green, it says open, and then when it keeps being, it doesn't add to quantifying.
You'll have to. Did you log out and log back in?
Yeah, I can try again, but I did.
And there is no guarantee that actually all of you became assigned as quantifiers. So let's check.
It said 27 of 27. That's the one I sent.
Yeah, but that is the dry run that is used for that dialogue only, and then there's the actual assigning, and then so it's randomized again.
It's randomized after you hit assign quantifiers.
Yes.
Okay. And
so let's see if someone. Let me count how many.
I think I've got the spinning palms of death. They've been spinning for about 5 minutes.
26 quantifiers were assigned.
26. So that means there might be one person who was left out from this one. Sean, if you go to quantification periods, can everyone see this page from their own screen?
Yep, I can.
Yeah.
Can anyone not see this? I guess that's a better question.
On their own screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please,
I don't.
sorry, I can't, but because I don't know how to get there. Sorry.
Well, you're on this website here, the one we posted in the chat. Oh, it's getting slow. There's lots of people in the system.
Yeah.
So, Bianx, if you're logged out, you should be seeing this screen here, yeah? Yes, no?
Yes. Yes, sorry.
Okay. Then you can log in. You sign the message on MetaMask. And then if you click on, well, even from here you can get there, but if you click on quantification periods on the sidebar, you should be able to get to this page. All right. And then once we're here, we can click quantify. And then this is the list of people that you've been assigned. And so basically, I think if I got this right, Christopher, you're going to be quantifying all of the praise that they received for that given date range.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is important because it gives you context to see any duplicate praise that was sent to them.
Please choose another person. Maybe the table doesn't get pushed to the right.
There we go.
Yeah, let's
Kookaburra. And so from here, we can start quantifying praise. And so we go through here, we look at Livy's document to kind of like understand what we do praise, what we don't praise, and then we get a feel for maybe what qualifies as invalid praise, and using your best judgment, decide on what the praise is worth using this Fibonacci sequence.
But back in the
Also,
days,
something.
Sorry, one person. Zep, go.
back in the days when I was quantifying, I was using like the reference like 1 point was 1 minute because like we could choose the time. But right now I'm struggling so much like to differentiate because I don't know what I'm really like I don't know what 144 or 1 means. Like I have one price for doing implementing the bonding curve and one for looking into the forum thread, and I mean I feel like there's a huge gap between both of those, but I really don't feel confident assigning one number or another. I don't know what should I read or no.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that. That I think it's important when looking at all the praise to gauge types of contributions. So this will be difficult in the first time because as you're reading through, you still don't have awareness of all types of praise that you have there. But with like more practice, like maybe in the next quantification, you'll be much better at gauging that. So maybe like let's say an awesome working session this morning, great questions and critical thoughts across the board. So this is kind of like why it's kind of a wide praise, but we have to consider that it was thoughts during a session. So before we had this notion of impact hours. So thinking about the impact of something plus the time of that something. So having kind of a matched number that represents both. So maybe you could think that this was a session that lasted probably 1 hour and that there was great questions and critical thought. So this is a praise for engagement and participation. So how would you quantify that versus developing and testing the smart contracts? Like this is a much more broad praise, right? So this probably had more work put into it, more time, and what was the impact of this? So this is kind of a way to like go back and forth in this first time and understand what is your metric system.
Another point on that too is that this shows the value of adding context to your praise, because, for example, here, Rapid Sphinx, I have no context to judge the value of it. I was like, what kind of working session were they on, and what kind of questions, you know? And so this is also feedback for us as praise givers to think about the kind of context that we give to the people on the other end. And so let's see if we can, like we can see here, this is actually a good instance.
But can you explain it again? So if I have the other one where you actually do a very thorough piece of work, mathematics version 2 proposal, probably took 2 weeks of extremely intellectual thinking and will be hugely fantastic, as opposed to I had an awesome working session. I mean, sort of, assuming it's a great proposal, I can't see that, but I'm guessing it is, since it's there, somebody liked it, yeah? Or what? Do we have to then read the proposal and understand, okay, do I like it, or do I think it's great, or how do you assess the quality of that proposal?
Well, you don't have to assess the quality, but it's more of your thinking of the work that went into it.
I would imagine this is a tough thing, so it should be a lot worth, but I don't know, because if it's crap, I would be punished by approving or giving praise to something that may be crap.
I think one general assumption we can make and have to make is that the general assumption that the praise giver, in this case, we should not reevaluate the actual contribution. We should just put the score on what the praise giver praised. It's the praise giver that values the contribution. Sort of the praise giver believes that writing this proposal was a valuable contribution. That is all we need to know at this stage. We don't have to make that assessment again, and so to see if we think it's a valuable addition, because that has the praise giver already said.
Yeah, but where do you see what was proposed?
Well, this is the title, but it's we're judging at the effort, not the actual the thing that was being praised. It's not us to judge that exactly. It's more of like, how much effort did this require for this person to make a proposal?
Yeah, but actually,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick comment. I think this is a valid point, and that's why originally we had people that were like very in the know of the system to quantify certain things, because how can you quantify something that you're not sure about? So I think in these cases is a matter of guessing. It's like how much of your perception allows you to like give a quantifiable value to something. So if you don't know what mathematics is, but there was someone, like Christopher said, that attested the value of that proposal, then maybe you can attribute a similar value that you would to any type of proposal, or what would be the value of even writing a proposal, even without a judgment of if that was good or not. So also, like Mitch was saying, like attached to the effort, but also understanding that the things that you know more, you're probably going to give a more accurate value. And that's why we have like 3 or 4 people quantifying the same people, because maybe you don't know so much about that, and then another person does, and there is a final value that will match a little bit best.
Yeah.
So we quantify to the best of our ability and to the best of our knowledge about what has happened in the community. But the goal over the long term, of course, is to have quantifiers that are deeply knowledgeable about what has happened in the community. So, for instance, when I read about mathematics version 2, I have sort of a quite deep knowledge about that, because I heard Nugget describe the proposal in detail during like two debates, etc. So for me, it would be fairly easy to assess its quality, to say that was a solid proposal, and he did lots of work making that. So once you have deep knowledge about what goes on in the community, it becomes easier. And over time, the goal would be to, of course, like I said, have more quantifiers have deep knowledge about what's going on.
Yeah. Can I assume that until that happens, then I'm basing it on the praiser, right? If you give more details, then I can quantify it better. If not, then probably I would just have to
Use your best judgment.
yeah. So of course.
So let's say in this scenario, you don't know anything about mathematics, but you know that we did proposals for the commons upgrade. So then you know in general that it was a big contribution. But in if you would have the full detail on it, you. Oh, so sorry, Mitch.
Sorry, I want to move on from this because we've got 25 minutes left in the call. Okay, so yeah, use your best judgment. Follow the rules of praise, and if you get stuck, don't be shy to do homework. You can go into our Discord and just literally look up mathematics V2, and you'll probably have lots of context right there. So I want to move on from this, and I want to talk about duplicate praise and invalid praise. And so if we look at this one here, for example, we can see Happy Falcon says hosting param parties. Calm Wolf, all the work, awesome param parties. Same here, param parties, param debates. So it's like being param parties host. And so we can see tons of duplicate praise that seems more or less like the same thing. And so for this, we can give an initial value. We can look at this and say, oh, hosting param parties. And we're like, oh, that was worth, relative 21. But then we see this one. Oh, Calm Wolf really loves param parties. Wow. So we can mark this as a duplicate. And looking at this, each instance of praise is given an ID within the system. So we can see this is hashtag 4034. And so we just mark this as 4034.
But those are different persons, right? Like one is Happy Falcon and the other is Calm Wolf.
But they're praising the same thing.
The senders are different, but the receiver is the same.
Oh, okay. So that screen I'm seeing is just one receiver?
Yes.
No, this one. Receiver Melodic Kookaburra.
Oh, I see.
And so these are all the people that praise that person. All the instances. There's some crazy feedback coming from you. Can you mute, please? Thank you. So does that make sense how to do that? If we can look at here, we can see another one here being a param party host. Kadachia, we've got some feedback from you. Can you please?
Do you say it's a duplicate if it's the same person and park the same praise message?
I would say so.
Okay.
It looks like the same person is praising the same person for the same thing.
On the same date. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, not on the same date.
Not on the same date. So it might be different param parties.
So it's in the same range.
Well, then it could be two parties. Because there's one 4 days later up there, just below the duplicate one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so these duplicate praises still get valued a little bit more. So it's not like they're getting double the value, but it is cumulatively becomes worth a little bit more for each marked duplicate.
But that's a good point. If they were praised in different days, then they probably represent different parties, and then that would have, each one would have their own value. So it's good to pay attention on that.
Mm-hmm. So then in this instance here, since we can see that this is on the 25th, and this was on the 21st, what do you guys think? Would this be considered a duplicate?
I would say it's two different ones, but all the ones on the 21st is a duplicate because there's several, and then all the ones on the 25th is, unless, do you have to then validate that there was actually a party?
No, we can assume that the praise giver knows that there was a party. I think if we're going on that metric of dates.
Except
we
it's
can also see that it's the same person.
Yeah, it's calm wolf all the time. So
love those parties.
Yeah.
Does
Hit
this
the button.
does this make sense to everyone? Like in terms of just on a technical level, marking duplicate praise.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. Does it not make
Also,
sense to
hello.
anybody?
Hello.
Yes.
Also, what if the same person is giving praise, the same praise to it, on a different date entirely?
So this is what we just mentioned. If it is coming from a different date, and it's from the same person, Livy was just mentioning that maybe it's a different instance of work being done, right? So they did the same type of work multiple times, and so using your judgment, you could say that this person actually did lots of the same work over several instances.
Okay.
And quickly, is leaving an item at 0 on the sliding scale effectively the same as dismissing it, or should it be discretely dismissed?
I think it should be dismissed. Christopher, what do you think?
You're on mute, Christopher.
The effect on that receiver score is the same, but the effect marking something as dismissed will also be marking it as done in the system. So when you have, so it's much better to mark it as. Otherwise, Mitch will look at your quantification and tell you like you're not done yet. Please go back and finish the remaining items.
I have a question. Would it be an issue if I mark a duplicate as a duplicate of a duplicate?
We have this one. I think I made an issue for this, marking it as a duplicate of itself.
Marking if A marks B as a duplicate and B marks A as a duplicate, that is not allowed. So that should be, I think that is prevented in the backend now. But if A marks B as a duplicate and C marks B as a duplicate, I'm not sure.
So because of one thing that I notice is that on marking a praise as duplicate, like if I mark another praise and it uses that one as the ID, do they all bundle up together and get resolved as like a duplicate of the source praise, or does that not happen? It's mostly Kambol's string of phrases that making me wonder.
So it looks like here I tried to do just like mark A B as duplicate and then mark B as A as duplicate, and it doesn't allow me.
Yeah, that's good then.
So we figured that one out. Okay. And the last thing I want to show in terms of this is invalid praise. I don't think I have any invalid praise here.
Invalid praise will be like empty praise. There will be praise that doesn't have a reason at all, that you just...
Okay. Wrapping
according to the...
Go ahead, please.
Sorry, according to the document, attending something, is it considered invalid or is just 0?
It would be invalid because we will have a source cred system that will automatically track meeting attendance.
But that is not for the old praise. So we won't be able to track that retroactively. Once we start tracking meeting attendance using source cred, we will stop praising it. And once after that date, all praise like that will be deemed as invalid. But for these old praise, it's valid. But I guess it would be like a 1 point or 3 or the lowest.
Got it.
Would it make sense to put in the margin a link to the document so that for quick reference, so you get, and then maybe the clusters of good examples, or some, I don't know, something like when you do the praise, if you're going to do 200 and you want to have consistency, I'm sort of like thinking visually, maybe there should be some guiding thing.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's like it might be a bit biased, telling people what things should be worth.
Well, I mean, yes and no. If you have a praise system and you have the rules, you should be within those rules, yeah.
Yeah, but telling people what contribution should be worth a 200 versus what contribution should be worth a 5, it's like we have to allow for some leniency and people to use their best discretion rather than trying to make everything fit into a box.
Wisdom of the crowd, yeah.
Do you recommend to use the whole scale?
The whole Fibonacci scale? Sorry.
Yes. To have at least one lowest and one highest.
One lowest to one highest in what context?
In one session of quantifying, so that there is more consistency between people.
I think with time you will develop your own understanding. So, for example, those two examples that I read earlier, that was praising for asking questions in a meeting and praising for developing the smart contract. Like, I would say maybe those two are in the far ends of the scale. Like, developing the smart contract is something huge that's so impactful for the community and maybe deserves like the full amount. And maybe like asking questions in a meeting could be like in between the like first couple or three
Yeah,
points.
I understand how it works relatively to scoring items relatively to each other. I was wondering, so for instance, if you have, I don't know, whatever number here that seems like the biggest score that you want to give in the whole session, you could either put it at the maximum or you could put it a bit less. And it's not important relatively to your other scoring because it's just about the same in for yourself, but it might be different relative to other people. See what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe I'm splitting hair. I'm just trying to see.
I think that there are no easy answers or no straight answer to these kind of questions. My view is that this will have to be an ongoing conversation in between the quantifiers, and that sort of best practices develop over time. Without having like strict guidelines to like this is because we don't want to have a top-down quantification telling everyone like you should quantify like this and this, because that doesn't make it into a crowd-sourced intelligence tool. So best practices, but not strict guidelines that develop over time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have one last question before the session ends. I'm sorry if that was answered before. When you mark something as duplicate or dismissed, is there a undo button or something like that?
Yeah, if you look here on the duplicate, for example, you can see the little X next to it.
Yeah.
And so that'll undo it. And then I believe the same thing, if we dismiss it, we can click the little X and it should undo it.
Lastly, is there any mechanism for flagging for a UI bug, like if an item is not getting counted discretely?
Yes. You are more than welcome to post any bugs you find in the repository, the Praise front-end repository. Post issues there. If you feel that that is too much of a hassle going there and write it, please just direct text me.
What's preferred? I mean, if it just seems like an item is not getting separated properly, so that there's individual items within it that are, individual people that are in one item.
I think maybe I'd prefer if you just write me messages about the things that you meet during the quantification, and then I will turn them into issues, because my guess is that many of you will run into the same things,
sure.
And so we don't clog up the issue board with similar issues.
Going back to what
Mitch, should we say something about dates and what next steps before we end?
Yeah, sure. So this a test quant. Just so everybody knows, this is like will be once we have this down solid and we have the rest of the pieces plugged in, we'll be re-quantifying this same data. But we're gonna leave this open for 5 days. And so what is that? Tuesday, Monday? And then we'll be closing the session. Everyone is open to keep doing this on their own. So you don't have to be like on the call or anything like that. And then when you're finished all of your praise, the admin will be able to see that you've finished all of it. And really what we want to get out of this is any bugs or improvements that can be made in the system, what's missing, and gather feedback. And
Wait,
go ahead.
So it's not real, right?
This is real praise, but it's not going to be quantified and rewarded.
No, okay. So let's stress it. Okay, just try it out.
But it's good to go through it like it was the real thing, because then we get the real questions and the real feedback that we want.
Yeah.
And the feedback will then also be added, of course, to the rules for praise, the quantifier onboarding documents, etc. So we would like to tap into the knowledge of this crowd to upgrade those documents. So please think about if something feels awkward in the work process, if UI glitches, anything that comes to mind, please take a note and let us know.
Are we gonna have another call after the 5 days and then like to talk about it together? I mean, other than reported UI glitches, like let's say questions
Right now, if we see the need, we can always schedule another call.
Got it.
But it's not tentatively my plan to make another call for this.
Okay.
But just for clarification, also in the real process, when we start quantifying for real, we will have a call after the quantification period just to talk about all of the insights that might come from reading all of this praise. So like questions that you might have, or like, oh, I don't think I quantified that one well because I didn't know about that thing. Or like, oh, this was interesting. What happened there? Just, it's very educative and interesting to look at what people value in the community. So we'll have a space for that.
Cool. Yeah, that's assuring. Yeah.
And in that step, you as a group will also be able to do like manual corrections at the end, where you as a group correct the final score for each, not for each praise, but for any praise that really needs it. So if something comes up that something was really difficult to quantify, and others agree that then you can go down and sort it out before it moves on to the distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys want to take these last few minutes? We'll keep playing around, see what questions come up, and then maybe 2 minutes before the top of the hour, we can close out.
Can you post the link to the rules and the onboarding document? Or
they're actually pinned in the Calling All Quantifiers channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Also, for the invalid praises, are you supposed to delete them or what?
You can see the button here. So if you
Okay.
look on my screen, you can see the one that says duplicate, and then this little X right here. Dismiss praise, so we mark it as invalid.
Okay. All right.
And then boom, just like that.
All right.
I can see that a lot of you actually have begun quantifying quite a lot.
That's awesome.
And time is already done. Can that be correct?
Yes. Only because
Quiet.
I've been through it so many times. So I didn't have the same questions and I just went in and finished. But I did also open 2 issues for front end.
Nice. Thank you for that.
Where are we putting the issues? Can we have a link for the GitHub?
It's the Commons build praise front end, but I'll post the link.
I did already. It's in the Calling All Quantifiers channel.
And also writing to me directly works fine, unless you if you don't want to post an issue.
Cool. Thank you.
What happened when the praise contains 2 different things, but one of it is duplicate?
Then praise the
value the one that isn't a duplicate.
Okay, thanks.
I think that would be an elegant solution.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thanks to everyone who put this together. I mean, I thought this was going to be more confusing than it is. So nice UI, good setup, well thought out, and thanks for the hand holding for us to get into it too.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for
very much.
taking this task on. There will be some UI polishing to do. Already identified a few issues, but we're super glad that so many would like to join in on this super important task.